Most people think of the food, the culture, the people, or if you're a party boy, you think about the nightlife, the drinking, the bars, the women. But if I can be honest with you guys, I was actually quite worried about leaving my family, and I was super nervous. My mom actually had, I don't know if I want to talk about this. Honestly, I'm a nature boy through and through. The thing about Thailand is there's so much nature in Thailand. The fact that you can just jump on a bus in any direction and it will take you to one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Bro, I just felt like my life didn't have the fun and adventure that I thought it should be. I mean, I didn't have a boring life. I went on small adventures, holidays here and there, and I had a comfortable life. I had a loving, supportive family. I had a good, stable job that I enjoyed going to, people that cared about me. But I just felt like when it came to the weekend, I was always thinking about, okay, what can I do? And I felt like I'd exhausted all my options. I came from one of the biggest cities in South Africa that isn't close to a lot of nature. And although South Africa itself has a lot of nature, it's quite a big country that you have to travel quite far just to get to places worth going to. So why I wanted to come to Thailand was because most people think of the food, the culture, the people, or if you're a party boy, you think about the nightlife, the drinking, the bars, the women. But for me, honestly, I'm a nature boy through and through. I grew up on a big, I wouldn't call it a farm, but a big plot of land with a river and a small dam. Most of my childhood, I was outside exploring. And I just like going out and exploring nature by myself. I like being by myself. I like exploring new places. And the thing about Thailand is there's so much nature in Thailand, and there's so much diversity of nature. And not only diversity of nature, but the accessibility to nature, bro. Like the fact that you can just jump on a bus in any direction and it will take you to one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Amazing rainforest jungles, mountains, lakes, islands. I mean, you just don't, like, in South Africa, you have to do everything by yourself. You have to have a car, you have to plan everything out by yourself, you have to know where you're going, you have to have enough money to get there. Whereas the accessibility and the convenience in Thailand just makes it so easy for me not have to overthink where I want to go on the weekend. I can say, okay, I got 2 days off this weekend, or it's a long weekend, I got 3 days off. And instead of thinking, okay, where am I going to go? Where's somewhere close enough that I'm able to drive myself? Where's somewhere affordable enough that I have enough money for? Where's somewhere that I have enough, if I only have 2 days, it's enough for me to go and explore, which is what I used to think about every weekend back in South Africa. Whereas here, there's just millions of ideas that start popping up. Okay, I want to go down to Samrayot and chill by the beach. I want to go to the national park in Samrayot, or I want to go up to the biggest national park an hour away, Kangrachan, and explore the lake and explore the hikes around there. Or I want to go camping. I want to go to Hat Wanakorn beachfront camping. And all of those things, you can have a full weekend for less than 1,000 baht, which just seems crazy to me. But if I can be honest with you guys, I was actually quite worried about leaving my family, and I was super nervous. I'd been planning this for months, if not years. I lived in Vietnam for 6 months in 2019, and then of course the world shut down for a few years. But ever since I went back home, I'd been planning to come back to this part of the world. But once it started getting more and more real, once I had organized my documents, once I had started booking flights, once I had secured a job, I started getting more and more nervous and started questioning if this was the right choice. even though I had thought about it for months and months and months and had already decided that it was the right choice. But also there were some personal issues that happened with my family, and my mom actually had, I don't know if I want to talk about this. My mom actually had some pretty serious surgery about 2 to 3 months before I left for Thailand. And I, at that point, still wasn't sure if I was going to leave. I wasn't sure how fast or how well, or if at all she was going to recover. And I started having guilt for leaving my family when I felt like it was a time that they needed me there, and they needed my support, and they needed my help. And I kept on asking them if they were still okay if I left. And of course, them being amazing, loving and supportive parents and family that they are, they're like, yeah, we like stop feeling so guilty. Of course we're going to miss you. Of course we want you to stay. But we also want you to live your life. We want you to go do what you feel is right for you. We want you to, we just want you to live your life. If you feel like you need to go on an adventure, go on an adventure. Don't sit around living your life for us. And that was one of the big things one of the big points why I decided I'm actually going to leave. And that point was, the decision was set in stone at that point, where I'm such a people pleaser, and I always feel like I'm worried about other people before I'm worried about myself. And in some points, that's some places that's a positive, but I think too much in one direction, when I'm always living my life for other people and thinking, do they want me to stay? Do they want me to leave? Do they need my help? Are they okay if I stay? Are they okay if I leave? Will they be sad? Will they be angry with me? Will they stop loving me? And I just decided, well, now there's never going to be a good time to stay. You're never going to be ready to leave your family. You're never going to be ready to move to a foreign country that you don't know anything about. You're never going to be ready to start a new job. You're never going to be ready for anything new and scary in your life. You just have to take the jump. Like there's that quote that's so overused, but it's like, when you're scared to jump, that's exactly when you jump. And I think it's quite analogous to adventure itself. If you ever think about something like cliff diving or anything where you need to commit, if you hesitate, that's when you make a mistake, and that's when you end up injuring yourself. If you jumping off a cliff into a pool of water, if it's not too high, you're not gonna hurt yourself. It's very unlikely that you're gonna hurt yourself. But if you hesitate and you go like you're gonna jump and then try and stop yourself midway, that's when you end up falling, slipping, and actually injuring yourself. But if you just commit to something, if you just say you're gonna jump and then jump, yes, it's scary, but as soon as you left that ledge, that's normally when the best part of your life starts happening.